now that we've created our lineups, let's go ahead and create our first recipe. A recipe is just a set of instructions to give our computer to extract the lineups that we want to out of this lineups cloud. Programmatically, repeatably, useful for entering into particular contests or for backtesting, which again is coming on a future release. So if we click recipe, it's going to be kind of self-explanatory. So let's go ahead and create our first cutting function recipe. We're going to call it Lotto. And this is going to be for like a larger style Lotto contest with 150 entries per player. So first what we're going to do is cut our lineups by simulating. And I want to do about 20,000 times, for instance. And I want to go ahead and select the fadeaway large. And if you're curious about these contest payout structures, all you need to do is click this and it will open a drop down. It'll tell you the positions, the units payout, the percentage of entrants, all that sort of stuff. That's beyond the scope of the video. So what we want to do is after we simulate 20,000 times on the fadeaway large, I want to go ahead and limit this to the top 200 lineups of simulated ROI. You can do percent or total lineups, but for the sake of this argument, let's do total lineups. And you may be interested to know why we're doing 200 as opposed to 150, since that's the max we can enter. Well, the lineups that are generated inside this cloud have the potential to be duplicated. And that's very important when you're simming contests because that allows the payout structures to be appropriately allocated to each duplicated spot. Of course, we don't want duplicates in our entries necessarily, so I'm going to add another cutting function step, and that's going to be uniquing, and we're going to be using the deduping strategy. So this takes all the lineups and ensures that you only receive at max one of those particular lineups. You can also select only uniques, and those are lineups that have never been duplicated, or only duplicated, which is the exact opposite of only uniques, and only selects lineups that have been duplicated. But for our contest, I'm just satisfied with deduping them. So I'm going to go ahead and select that and click Save. Now, it's important to note that you are also able to set this lineup, this cutting function recipe rather, to a particular contest name with these contest names matching for both initial and late swap when we offer it, since it's not offered currently. But we'll get into that once we go into the entries tab. So for now, let's safely ignore that. To visualize this cutting function recipe that we've just created, you can just click the eye icon right here, and this will start running by cutting your cloud. This will take a few minutes to a few seconds to finish. And when it finishes, you can see that it's simulated 20,000 times, and this is the highest ROI lineups. Now, if we want to see exactly what the ROI returned is, all we need to do is click on this. This will tell us that our average CE ROI is 13%. The average geometric ownership is 4.5. And this will give you a nice little spark chart for the distribution of the actual ROI and geo ownership. If you want to click the table right here, you'll get a full lineup listing of the simulated ROI. And you can scroll down and see how this goes down until we get to about our 150th. Let's exactly see how much we have. 199. So we had only one duplicated lineup. And that's essentially how you use cutting functions. If you want to go ahead and do a heat map ROI, you can just click this graph button right here. This will bring up your graph settings, and you can just click on, and that will go ahead and basically give you a heat map indicating the hotter the color, the hotter the lineup, the higher the ROI. And the cooler the temperature, the colder the lineup, the colder the ROI, the lower the ROI rather. And this is just a visualization tool so you can kind of pick and see essentially in these large field contests or any size contest rather, where your ROI is being generated. And that's it.